Two unemployed actors, two unemployed actors. They're just between projects.
Welcome back to Two Unemployed Actors. I'm Max.
I'm Sam.
Huge show today. We've literally got to catch our breath. Had a couple of great guests on episodes previous. Actor and director Christian Van Vuuren and director Sam Hargrave dialing into the podcast from the set of the Extraction sequel, which I know we're all looking forward to.
Hell yeah. It's very exciting. Great interviews.
It's been great, and we learnt a lot. Like, there's so many good insights, and I know coming up we've got a couple of great ones. Award-winning Australian casting director, little Q&A and tips to do better in auditions, and actor Darren Gilshanen, which is really informative. So, make sure you subscribe is the moral of that story.
Hell yeah. Have a listen. Go watch them.
So you don't miss a trick, because we've been getting heaps of insights. It's fantastic. I have to warn you today, though, we're recording this on the 1st of March, and it's the start of the month, and I've just been doing my budget. So I'm literally, I can see numbers and spreadsheets. So just hopefully I can flick the switch and go back into creative podcaster, but it might be you might have to drag me there, mate.
Yeah.
But I've been busy doing my my passion project, my television series.
Yes.
And I actually got to the stage of finalizing the first draft of my script. Because we had a chat with Christian Van Vuuren, and obviously Christian's all about, like, everything it's just encapsulating why we keep talking about getting up off the couch and doing your own stuff and just getting out there and making it happen. Because he did his web series, and then he got picked up for a network, and now he's directing and acting still. So I mean, like, that's just perfect. I was so motivated after our chat. I went straight into script stuff, because the thing is, with my process, I've got like butcher's paper on the wall, and I know it's going to be 8 episodes, right? And I've got separate, like, a list in my little notebook of ideas and things. So whenever ideas come to me in all sorts of strange places at strange times, but I note it down, and then so I've got the pilot up, and it's plastered with different colors of Post-it notes, and I sort of move them around as I change scenes and stuff. And then I have a look at my little notes and see if there's any sort of nuggets of gold I can throw in there as well. And I kind of had started on the script. Bear in mind, I've never written anything before, like a script. Right? I'm using online software, by the way. It helps you to sort of, it does all the formatting for you. You just go, character is Matt, and he's speaking, or there's an action, or whatever, and just it formats it all. It makes it so much easier.
Like Final Draft and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think I'm in Arc Studio. I think that's what it's called.
Okay.
And it saves it up in the cloud, so even on my mobile, I can edit it. Not that I really want.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so like I was traveling in Sydney the other week, and I just logged on to thanks Starbucks Wi-Fi, and started doing a few bits and pieces then too. So like it's so much easier. But more importantly, for people like me, I haven't written screenplays before, so it was just kind of like really helpful for the formatting, keep the flow tight. So anyway, I was so pumped and motivated. I went and I spent a few hours. Like, I was going till dark. Little Fred's at my heels going, dinner time, mate. What are you doing? You're neglecting me. So I've managed to finish the script draft 1, and I've got my 3 people, right? So one is our lovely producer, Amanda. So I've forwarded a script off to her, because I know, she's seen several and helped with several, so it'd be great to get her feedback. And a couple of cousins, just keeping you in the family, Sammy. I've got one who works at Create New South Wales, but not in the department that funds film. It's more like funding galleries and that sort of funding, the opera and ballet, not quite my league. So she's got a copy. And then my other cousin in Canberra, who actually taught creative writing at Australian National University, so he's written lots of stuff. So I'm giving him a copy, because also it was him sending, when we were talking about writing, he sent me a book on script writing, which I sort of plowed into, and then went, okay, I think I can do this.
Nice.
So, yeah, nice at the moment, but I'm kind of on the edge going, oh, I wonder what the feedback's going to be. It's kind of shit.
No feedback's really bad feedback. You'll work on it, I guess, either way.
And like in corporate life, you're forever getting your plans picked apart, but more eyes
You're used to it.
hopefully make it a better plan, So, yeah. But yeah, so that's happening. So that's exciting. So yeah, thanks to good old Christian. We'll shout out to Christian Van Vuuren for helping me over the line there. It was great to talk to him about his work. I remember you said you had a few scripts that you sort of started. Maybe it helped you to start a few more that you've got unfinished.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when we were talking to Christian, I mentioned that I had some scripts on my laptop.
Yeah.
Just like 5 unfinished ones. Such cool ideas in my head, and I remember talking to him about if whoever's listening, if you go back and listen to the Christian interview, I tell him that I just struggle to put all my ideas on paper succinctly, I guess.
Yeah. And
just get it out. And he was talking about how some of the most important things are when your story starts, when your story ends, what your character wants and needs. And if you don't have those and you've started, then you're probably starting a bit too early. And that's definitely kind of, I get excited when I'm writing something and want to jump straight into it and jot down every idea I have.
Yeah.
So I don't forget it. But then I end up, I get excited and put it in script form and then start writing scenes. And I'm like, clearly not ready yet.
Jumping the gun.
Unfinished ones on my laptop.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, I kind of keep like a separate book for all my ideas and bits and pieces. Like I've got one column is like story ideas, like if they're big and juicy enough. Another column is just little funny little moments that sort of complement the world and that it's in. Sometimes the little moments get promoted to a storyline and vice versa, but I sort of vomit everything down there and then it makes it to a post-it note and then it maybe makes it onto one of the episodes, then gets moved around a bit.
Yeah.
So, because I think to go straight to script, and it's like it's huge. You're forever,
it's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good idea, and I really like all the stuff that we spoke about with Christian. Like it all spoke to me really nicely. I just all the writing stuff got me so interested. There was a quote that he said. There was like he paraphrased, but it was a quote by Michelangelo, and it was. I looked it up, and this is the exact quote.
Yeah, go on.
The sculpture is already complete within the marble block before I start my work. It is already there. I just have to chisel away the superfluous material.
Deep.
And I like that. Yeah, and Christian was quoting, like, paraphrased what he said, and that really was like, oh yeah, that's awesome. Because I mean, he spoke about knowing the format that you're writing in a TV film, whatever it is, and kind of because they've been tried and tested and do all these different ways, but also find what your character's afraid of and the worst things in the world to them, and how do you put them into those situations? Pretty much, how do you put them through that? And that's kind of like that thing. It's like the story's already there. You just gotta, once you get all all the story, the characters, stories there, you just gotta find it. Yeah, and I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, no, it's great because sometimes, you can spend so long in the detail, but if you take a step back and, like you were saying, what's the journey? Where's your characters? Where are they going? So I think I know, for me, now that I'm really at the tail end. Finalizing episode scripts.
Yeah.
Even to the point where it's a television series, it's a comedy, but even deeper in terms of what sort of format, it's like a single camera. Because writing for multi-camera, like a studio audience, like a Seinfeld, for example, versus a single camera, like a Modern Family, there's just so much more. Like, say it's a 30-minute episode. If it's a network, that's probably roughly like 20, 22 minutes. That you're writing, roughly a minute a page, and bits of directions to sort of set it up. But if it's multi-camera format, I've learnt that, those scripts can go up to 60 pages for the same
it's
amount
like
of
a whole
time.
different thing.
Because they've got to give you all stage directions and everything, because you've got your limited sets, and there's just so much more to it's a different beast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think where I've landed, it's definitely single camera format. I think there's just so much in the outdoors in the world that can be explored. I can't wait for it to go further so that I can actually tell everyone about it. But
I'm like I said, I'm super excited.
Yeah. So no, I think Christian's done well for us, because it's really helped us with our insights and actually putting pen to paper and moving forward with our own work. So it's great.
Yeah,
and
it was super cool talking to him. He had awesome insights and awesome kind of ideas and kind of get started, I guess.
And how good was it to be able to talk to director Sam Hargrave?
Oh yeah, it's still surreal.
I know, I'm still pinching myself. I reckon we're set. We could walk onto an action film set now. We'll be sorted.
Yeah, I still don't think we spoke to him. I'm still in denial.
I know, it was so. We were very lucky to get a bit of his time.
He was, yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. It was because he was in the middle of shooting Extraction 2.
Extraction 2, indeed. Yeah. And I think it was really cool to get, while we're on Extraction, to get insights into how we sort of approach those action sequences. The first time I heard the term action designer, it's so cool, because we were talking about the character and how you've got to take this scene, you've got to take into account the given circumstances, where the character was, where the character's going, as you would normally approach a scene. But from a stunt perspective, you've got to factor all that in and be able to do the stunt safely and know when, how much you can push the actor and how much, when you've got to step in for stunt. And it's just, and all the different camera, my mind just gets a headache when I start to think, you've got all that, but even then, the shot list would be extreme, and to capture all that action.
Yeah, he was saying he goes in there like any actor or cinematographer would and prepare in the sense that any other role on the film set would, as a stunt and action designer.
It was so cool, and I think to be able to encapsulate all of what we just spoke about and do like a one-er, like he was saying, he's one-er in Extraction, that 12-minute sequence. Just incredible. So props to Sam Hargrave. Props to us for getting him for the
100%.
But,
I love how he was saying that he'd rather put himself in that situation than anyone else, because he was strapped to the hood of the car in those scenes. He was, and he was such a nice guy as well. Even when he's like, "Oh, it's not because I don't have faith in the cinematographer. He couldn't do it. That's not why. It's because it's such a dangerous situation."
It is, yeah.
He was awesome, and yeah, he looks very different to, if you look up a picture of him on the internet, it's not what he looks like. He has a beard and long hair now. You would not recognize him.
That's right. Well, he's sporting the huge beard in Extraction before he got shot. He had a little cameo as one of the mercenaries.
Yeah.
Mind you, that was one of my questions back in the day when he was filming. You're on the hood of the camera car. You're strapped in. You got this huge beard. It's like a massive sail. It's like a windbreaker.
How do you even see what he was doing if it flipped up in front of him?
Imagine the whole one-er comes to a screeching halt, and he's like, "Look, we'll have to do it again. My beard was in the frame."
Yep.
But no, that's
just pretend it's a bush at the bottom of the frame that's constantly moving.
And how good was it? How he's like he looks out over the city and goes, "Oh, there's just so much cool stuff here. You can jump from that building to that building and go crashing through that window." Just looks at a city in a completely different way to how we would.
Yeah, he's talking about preparing for that as well, having a look at it, and there's a cool moment where he was saying that this was perfect for this scene. But we didn't have, I think it was, it's like a roof
awning.
Shade or something.
Awning,
wasn't in the spot that needed to be.
Yeah.
So we added it in. It's like, I wish I could do that. That would be so cool. You're pretty much designing your own world in the real world. It's awesome.
It's great. Yeah, no, I love how the Russo brothers just said, "Here's this action script, go play," like
Yeah.
like a car chase. That's it, you know. And then just it's all in his mind. And then with the restrictions around budget too, because you don't have months and months to plan and all this other stuff, which is why it evolved into that amazing 12-minute one. But
and he was saying
excited.
that he added even more fights than was originally in the script as well.
I mean, get a stuntman to direct an action movie, you know.
Yeah. It's going to be an action movie, 100%. Yeah.
That's so cool. I remember one of the first movies because I was into cars, you know, as a kid, Cannonball Run, great comedy, Burt Reynolds, Dom DeLuise, and it was all about cars, of course. But Hal Needham was a stuntman when he went to direct that. In fact, he used to stunt for Burt. And of course, you get a stuntman who loves cars himself and has done Cannonball Run.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of stories on where they got inspiration from for the ambulance, everything that actually really happened. And so you get a guy who's good at stunts and driving to do a whole comedy around car chases. You're going to get a lot of that, and it was great fun. It was great fun. So I remember as a kid being inspired by that, and we were talking about Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was more me because of my mum's influence, but he was really inspired by Jackie Chan because those fight sequences, like Jackie Chan with his stunt team can just do a whole sequence for like 5 minutes, which is a long time, because they know that they've choreographed it. The moves so well over the years. They know exactly what they're doing. They can trust each other to get really close and all that. You can do that versus having to cut away every other punch or something, you know?
Yep. Yeah.
It just makes it so dynamic.
That's awesome. And in this, this day and age, you can have, such long fight scenes that aren't actually one shot, because of the way that we can edit these days, which means you can have them even longer, which is awesome. Like you could show a film that looks like it's been shot in one take, similar to, I guess, The Revenant.
Yeah.
Which obviously can't be the case because the camera battery runs out every 10 seconds. You know, if you've ever been on a film set, you know how often the battery runs out, how much power those cameras eat. So yeah, it's very cool. I love the world we live in now for film and TV. It's awesome.
Very exciting. Yeah, no, cool. But I mean, yeah, totally. Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee, absolute martial arts action movie inspiration. No, it was great to get those insights from Sam, and I think you're right. He was very generous with his time and with the insights. It's definitely going to be a favorite episode of ours. So coming out of those, it's like totally motivated to push my own work and really just do more of it. I was worried that, you find out how they were motivated originally and what inspired them to do what they do. This is Christian and Sam. And it's like, well, maybe it's going to be intimidating and it's going to feel unachievable for me, all these different goals. But no, totally motivated. It's great.
Yeah.
It was a good couple episodes.
Once the same as us.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's right. Well, I've got good news too. Podcast Evolutions is happening in LA in a few weeks. A big podcasting conference. I've decided to attend.
Very nice.
Big news.
Person?
In person. Now that we're allowed to travel, touch wood, in case something else happens.
Oh, you're actually going in person?
Yeah, I'm actually going to LA. I'm actually going. No, I'm booked. I said to the travel agent, we're allowed to travel now? Do I have to quarantine for months at either end or something? She's like, no, we're all good now. So, I mean, hopefully, because who knows, right? The world is an amazing place at the moment. So Podcast Evolution's 3-day conference, a couple of thousand attendees from all over the place to talk everything podcasting. So hopefully you come back with some insights, a few late nights, and
nice.
And some time in LA. It's been absolutely raining out the summer in Australia, so I'm looking forward to some sunshine. But
a lot of rain.
But
and a lot of rain to come.
Yeah, Podcasting Evolution's awesome. I did find myself with a bit of a COVID quandary, because I had COVID, the Omicron flavor. When was it?
Did you?
January, yeah, first week. Like at New Year's Eve, right? I've started to get more severe symptoms throughout New Year's Eve.
You say Omicron flavour.
Yeah, I mean, there's different types. And
so many different flavours.
It's just easy for me to remember.
It's hard to choose.
So there's Maxie driving around New Year's Day looking for a place to get tested to be a good little citizen. And of course, they're all swamped and there's only like one, and it was at the hospital and they queued up since 5 a.m. I'm like, this is no good. So I just went home and thought, I've got it. Stay home, hydrate, and because it's better than, I'm not going to get up at 5 a.m. on a normal day, let alone when I feel crook.
Yeah.
So, coughing all over everyone. So I thought, might as well stay. But of course, the thing is, I haven't got a test, have I? To officially say I had it. Therefore, bits of it might still be in my, not my DNA, whatever it is, my blood or whatever. System, yes. Because apparently you can for a couple of months or so. So if you get tested, it could say, oh, you still got it because you got the antibodies.
Okay. But you're no longer infectious after that. But you.
Yeah, well, no, but it can show up in some of the PCR testing because of the antibodies or something. I mean, please, for heaven's sake, get your medical advice from a GP, from a doctor, not from me, because I can barely remember.
No.
But
Two Unemployed actors does not. So no, this isn't.
The point is, here I am at the airport in a couple of weeks' time, going to Podcast Evolutions, and hopefully, because you've got to get tested right before, and it's got to come back obviously negative. Yeah. So I should
see what happens.
She'll be fine. Says famous last word, Max.
Yeah, famous last words. Yeah.
Shit. So yeah, it's been huge, and Podcast Evolutions coming up. We've got interview with an award-winning Australian casting director with lots of tips and tricks on how to get into the room. Can't wait for that for Anusha, which is next week. And then we've got a couple of weeks later, we've got Darren Gilshan booked, Australian comedy actor, and I've seen him on stage so often. And I completed his comedy masterclass, which we've talked about in previous episodes. And just like seriously, it was with him for like the 2 days of the masterclass, and you come away with your head just swimming with so much information, even though a lot of it is you getting up there and doing and interacting with everyone and stuff. He's just got so much knowledge in there. It's just insane. And you still have questions. So we'll do our best to extract as much information from him.
100%.
Other than that, no auditions at all, like so far, since
me neither.
The last 3 weeks. I haven't had any. So I'm like, it's a bit quiet. I keep reading about all this work that's coming our way, all these productions that are greenlit right across the country. New sound stages being built in parts of Australia. It's like, wow, but where's my piece of the pie?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I messaged, my agent actually reached out to me. Normally I'm giving her updates. She's like, how you doing? How you tracking, just checking in, blah, blah. And I let her know everything's happening with the podcast and blah, blah, and my passion project and that. And I'm just thinking, no, nothing's come back. No auditions, nothing.
Yeah.
Just okay. I mean, I stopped doing all the corporate stuff, and that's okay. I can still push the button if I want to do more of that, but I'll keep writing. But
well, you've got your Ferrari now. You don't need that.
I've got. Yeah, I don't. It's a bit hard to pull up to a corporate job half day thing when you've got. Yeah, no. I did put my rates up a few times for voiceover too last year because I was getting heaps of work. Every time there's a lockdown in Australia, the voiceover work increases, and because you've got so many businesses trying to educate and communicate with their employees working from home, so there's so many things to do voiceover wise, so many opportunities. So I put my price up a few times there. And then I just had to pull the pin and just go, no more, because I really wanted to spend more time auditioning because the work was still coming in, which made me question what my rates were before.
Yeah. Too low.
I know. Anyway, no. Yes, so exciting stuff coming up, more interviews. Make sure you subscribe. Hopefully, the next time we get to talk, I've had a few auditions. But fingers crossed.
Too,
and I definitely will be getting feedback on my script. So I'm nervous, but I'll pass it on You can join me on that journey.
Yes. Yes.
You'll be listening to Two Unemployed Actors. I'm Max.
I'm Sam.
And you'll hear us next week. Bye.
Two unemployed actors.